Hi guys, welcome back to another video. If you remember the first video I made on this Evo 10, I did a walk around showing all the problems it had and all the things I'd like to sort of restore on it. So I've had a little bit of a break from the Evo and we're going to be going back now to the second phase of restoration. So I'll flip the camera around and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So yeah, the second phase of restoration, and I've put it off for a little while because it's actually going to be quite expensive to put it right. We can have a look at what I'm on about when we have a look at the arches under here. We can see these nasty, horrible wheels. So it's not just the alloys that are causing a problem, it's also these tyres. Every single tyre on this car is bald. They have, it has cracks, they're all different brands, different treads. So this car's definitely not handling the way Mitsubishi intended. Also, a few of them keep losing pressure, so I have to basically go around and get every single tyre absolutely perfect pressure before I want to drive it. Otherwise, obviously, the car will detect that something's wrong and it'll throw a AYC light. But when I've done all the pressures before I go on a drive, it's absolutely perfect. So I know that these tyres need to be replaced. And it's really urgent that I get that done. Not only that, these wheels, absolutely disgusting, all around the car, every single one of them, and they look even worse behind there. There's chunks of paint, literally chunks of it hanging off. And the expensive bit, which I have been a little bit scared off by, is what's actually behind the wheels, and it's those discs and brakes. I don't think anything is cheap on an Evo. I was looking last night for a set of replacement front discs. You're looking at about 700 or 800 quid. And for a decent set of pads, about £200, and that's just the front. But yeah, let's get stuck into it. Let's get it on axle stands and we'll take the wheels off. So while the wheels are gone, I thought I'd do a few more jobs to it. So if you do own an Evo 10, be sure to subscribe because there's going to be quite a few how-tos that are useful if you own one. So just going to take the wheels off and we can have a little look at what sort of condition these brakes are in. I was out with Sparkplug Steve the other day and I did notice that the brakes started to go a little bit spongy on the front, which is sort of a catalyst really for me just sort of getting it all done now. This is sort of competing with track prepared cars and you know, it hasn't really been looked after in the tyres and brakes department. So I'm thinking once we get that done, it should be pretty competitive and hopefully we can take it on track, see how it performs. So that's pretty much the push for now, is to get it sort of track ready. Let's just take the wheels off and see what sort of mess we're going to be dealing with. The front discs, from initial inspection, they don't look that bad. It's really the rears that look horrendous. But it'll be interesting to see how much life is left in these brake pads and things like that. If there's any impact wrench manufacturers watching, I'm in desperate need. Wow. That tyre is a lot worse than... Now I must stress, I don't actually use this Evo a whole lot, so bear that in mind when I show you what I'm about to show you. I knew the tyres were sort of worn, but I didn't know they were this bad. So this is the first tyre. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I mean, the tread feels alright in the middle, so obviously I just felt the tread. I could tell that there was a few mil there, but this couldn't have come sooner by the looks of it. Could have been potentially very dangerous. Now over to the brakes. Not in terrible condition actually. They're absolutely enormous. I mean, like, I'm 6'9" and I've got quite big hands, and that is just huge. That's actually partly why they went to the 18s, because they're so big, these brakes, they won't fit under 17-inch alloys. So they're not in terrible condition, actually, the discs. A little bit worn, but nothing major. There's no like real lip. The pads are on their last legs, mind. As is everything on this car. It hasn't had the easiest life until I bought it. But yeah, we'll put it all right. So yeah, that's the front right one. Now let's have a look at the rear. So the rear right. Let's inspect this one. Oh, I know this one's not too bad because I had it off the other day when I was fitting the AYC pump. It has hit the wear markers, which is why, these are being replaced. So that's technically illegal as well. Look at the state on that. Absolutely horrendous, that is. Well overdue. It's very shocking, really, to think that at some point someone would have paid, you know, good money for this car, and it's just not being looked after at all. Like, you know, I think maybe not the previous owner, but the owner before me, I got a receipt in the house for £20,500. That's right. So, I mean, that was a few years ago, but you know, what sort of person pays that much money for a car and then just runs it into the ground? It just doesn't make sense. But yeah, we'll save it. So how are the brakes looking on the rear? Well, the caliper's looking very crusty. This is sort of, I've been putting it off because it's quite overwhelming, really. There's a lot to do here. These discs are gone by the looks of it. I might have a chat with Godspeed, maybe they can do something with them, but I'm not sure. It's looking pretty rough down there, to be honest. No immediate signs of play. I mean, we've got my anti-roll bar, drop links seem fine. Headlight leveling system seems fine. Yeah, it all looks pretty sound, just tired. Now, let's do the other side. Now this one's got some pretty good tread on it. But it'll be getting replaced regardless. Looking inside the actual tread blocks, you can see cracks. So again, like it's got tread, but it's not necessarily a safe tyre, and definitely not a tyre worthy of being on the Evo. The sidewalls seem to have gone slightly blue from perhaps where someone's been thrashing it. Maybe that's me, maybe that's the previous owner, I'm not sure. But it's typical of sort of the sort of wear you'd see on a tyre, a cheap road tyre, if you was to take it on track. Now then, we look at the sort of brakes, the discs, very similar to the other side. A little bit of a lip, nothing major. Now the same as the others, wheels absolutely horrible. The tyres is not too bad on this one. It's probably one of the newest tyres, and I think also that's partly why the AYC system tends to throw a light occasionally. It's because they're all at different pressures, they're all at different tread depths, and they're all different tyres. And it only ever throws a light when I'm driving in a straight line. So logic would say that's the sort of wheel speed sensors detecting something's up. And again, the story on the rear, very similar to the other side. The disc's not too bad, a bit better than the other side, but it is quite worn. Rear pads are literally on the metal. They're literally touching the disc, the back plates. So that's going to have to be addressed urgently. What else? Doesn't seem to be any mechanical failures. Everything looks pretty straight. It's just the sad fact that these brakes have been allowed to get to that state. So I hope you have enjoyed this little video looking just how neglected this Evo 10 is behind me. Like I said, it's quite disappointing really to see that someone would mistreat it so badly, but we're putting it right to the best of my ability anyway. We'll try our best. Next sort of video, probably going to be taking the wheels for the refurb and showing you the finished piece. I'd imagine that's what I'll be doing. I've also got a few other jobs planned while it's on axle stands, such as SST fluids and general inspections, check for leaks, things of that nature. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Remember to subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.